And welcome back, everybody. This is Movies and Beyond. I am Callum. That is Kyle. We do movie news. We do TV news. We do it all. We're fun guys. Look at us. We're amazing. We're very cool. Isn't that right, Kyle?
Yeah, speaking of cool, Christopher Nolan's film is sounding very cool.
Christopher Nolan's...
Did you see the trans... Shut up.
What, is in like cold-blooded because the dead are...
Yeah, man.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
Oh! Motherfucker.
What just
My
happened?
ball bloated.
Yes!
All that. I just twisted it a bit and it just popped in my hand.
That genuinely scared you. And we've got that on camera.
Well, yeah, because I've got, very expensive equipment here that we use on Movie and Beyond.
I can't get the expensive equipment and I'm scared of popping balls.
I'm scared of opening bottles now.
Yeah, I bet you are. Right, let's get into it then. Christopher Nolan, his next film, which will be releasing in 2026, will be starring Tom Holland and Matt Damon, that we know so far, and we kind of didn't know what this was going to be about. But now, through the grapevine, it's come out that Nolan's next film is going to be a 1920s vampire movie. Now, doesn't that sound awfully familiar to what Ryan Coogler's film is coming out next year in March? But this is Nolan. I'm excited for it. Got Tom Holland in there, which really excites me as well. Because, look, Holland can act. It's just he hasn't been given many opportunities to act. Matt Damon's always great. Obviously, he's got a great working relationship with Christopher Nolan. And I am happy to see...
I disagree with the Tom Holland comment there. It's not like he's not been given opportunities. He has been given loads of opportunities. It's just the films he tends to pop up in aren't that great.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He hasn't been given, he hasn't been given that opportunity, like working with a Christopher Nolan, to be in something truly great. Now, look, I'm happy about this for many reasons. One, because Christopher Nolan were kind of going back and forth. We were going, I'm going to go sci-fi, then period piece, sci-fi, historical period piece. He's just done a period piece, and he's going period piece again, but with something he hasn't really done before or touched on. This doesn't seem like something Nolan would do, but the fact that he's doing it gets me so excited. Now, could this be bad? Maybe, but Nolan's got a great track record. Fantastic.
Sorry,
we all know that.
Bad?
We all know that. But no, what I mean is he's dipping out of his comfort zone a bit. But Nolan doesn't really have a comfort zone as well. He makes very similar types of movies. Look, Tenet, Inception, all stuff like that, all sci-fi sort of. And then you got Dunkirk, Oppenheimer, his stuff like that as well. And the Dark Knight trilogy.
I think you said it could be bad on a whim then. I don't think you actually meant that.
Well, no, no. It could be.
I don't think it'll be bad.
No, I don't think it will be as well. But there's still a possibility that it could be.
I disagree. I don't think there's a possibility.
You don't like Tenet, mate. You don't like Tenet. I like Tenet.
No, I enjoy Tenet. I just don't understand what the fuck is going on.
So, anyway, what do you think of this news? You happy?
Yeah, it's good to know that, what his next film is going to be about. It's just a long wait now, like with Oppenheimer. It was a bit of a lengthy wait for that. I was very excited, obviously, for Oppenheimer. I really enjoyed it. We obviously went to go see it when Barbie came out as well.
Oh, that was a good day.
Yeah, it was a great day.
Before I cut you off, Kyle, you can look on the channel and go back to our out-of-theatre reviews of Barbie and Oppenheimer. And I'd done a full day at work, and you can see the difference. We come out of Barbie, we're like, yeah, hell yeah. I think we made the mistake of seeing Oppenheimer last because it's long. It's good, but it's long, and you can just see how tired we are at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh.
Yeah, it was a bit gruesely, but I enjoyed the film nonetheless. Again, I really don't agree with what you said about him doing a bad film. I don't think he's ever
I'm not
really.
saying it's gonna be bad. I'm saying it could be. There's a possibility.
No, I know.
Everyone who could be bad. You're trying to make me out to be a cunt here, and I won't stand for it because I'll come down to yours. I'll break your legs and stick them down your throat.
I'm saying there's a possibility. I disagree on the fact of it being a possibility. I think Christopher Nolan he's going to do it well, wherever it may be. I think it's a case of if you'll enjoy the film. Like I say, Tenet. I enjoyed the film. I just don't know what the fuck has gone on. You seem to enjoy it a lot more than me, but I still enjoyed the film. I think it's a great film.
My head's always been good at wrapping my head around time travel stuff and trying to figure it out. I couldn't explain it to you, but I can navigate it.
Yeah. Going on to this, though, like you said, we've got another vampire film with obviously Michael B. Jordan. That's coming out as well.
Which looks fucking awesome.
Can I just say that I know we're going to talk about this already as our next topic, but it seems like everyone can get a vampire film made except Marvel with Blade. Like, what is what is taking so long with this? It's beyond a joke, and we'll get to that anyways.
Yeah,
but I'm looking forward to it.
The twist is Christopher Nolan's doing Blade, and Tom Holland's gonna play Blade.
Yeah, I mean, shit, it wouldn't surprise me at this rate, but it's interesting. I think he'll go with a much more darker, almost like horror-esque tone to it. I think that'll be something new that he can experiment with, something creepy, something that puts you on edge a little bit, because all his films they give you a great sense of like urgency and intenseness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, him doing a vampire film, he's going to pull that off really well, and it's going to be great to see him, spread his wings and do something quite different. And
see what you did there.
Yeah, and do something quite different. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, don't know what it's going to be about, but I'm really intrigued by the concept of it.
Vampires. Okay, that's the topic.
Yeah. But we don't know what it's going to be about. Like
vampires.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's going to be about Count Dracula or something to do with.
I tell you what it is right now. Christopher Nolan's remaking What We Do in the Shadows, the film, the Taika Waititi classic.
Yeah, no, I don't know how I feel about that.
By the way, if you haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows, the film and the TV show, they are both great. Just while we're on the topic of vampires and we get to speak about it, go watch them.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If you need something for this Halloween season, you've got plenty of content there.
Yeah.
In What We Do with the Shadows.
But look, this right now is making Tom Holland a very busy man in 2026. But to be fair, he's had quite a big break from acting, hasn't he? Recently, and it was like 2026 is going to be 2025 is going to be his year for shooting, and 2026 is going to be his year for press. Because look, he'll be shooting. In fact, we'll wait until later for that one. We'll talk about that a bit further down. But yeah, busy man. Anyway, should we get on to the next topic?
Mm-hmm.
Blade! Oh my god, Blade. It has been taken off the Marvel release schedule for 2025. It's no longer there. Now, it, kind of makes sense. We haven't heard any Blade news recently. We didn't hear out at Comic-Con, D23. New York Comic-Con just gone by. There's nothing about it at Brazil Comic-Con, which is Brazil D23, which is going to be 7th of November. We haven't heard anything about it from then. So look, I think it is time to close the book on Blade. And I think Marvel has done as well, because the reports are now that they are actually just bypassing Blade and just going straight for the Midnight Suns movie. Which is kind of what we've been saying on the channel. It's like, look, if they can't get Blade done at least try get Midnight Suns going. Yeah, it would be nice for Blade to have his own film to introduce him in, but if they can't get it, pen on paper and get it working, and they make a rubbish film, people aren't going to go out and see Midnight Suns. So maybe you get this group of mystical characters together and make Midnight Suns anyway, and just go straight for it. It can work. Look, team films don't have to have individual characters set them up to come into one. It's nice when it happens, but there's films all the time with large ensemble casts where you're just meeting the characters for the first time. Yes, some characters are going to shine more than others, and Blade will probably be the lead of this film. But Kyle, do you think it's a good idea scrapping Blade? It's been delayed indefinitely, but I think that's it now. I don't think they're going to try any more with Blade. I do really think they're going to go straight to Midnight Suns. But do you think that's a good idea?
I'm going to say I don't know, and I'll say this: I don't know until Thunderbolts comes out, and we'll see, how that works. Now, the difference with this, obviously, with Thunderbolts, these are already a couple of characters that have, been established in the MCU.
Yeah, every single one of them. So in minor
Midnight
roles,
Suns,
but
yeah, in Midnight Suns though, it's a completely different story where it makes sense to have a Blade film and then you go into your Midnight Suns film. That's really what we kind of expected them to do. And the more and more that they delayed, obviously, Blade, it was like, oh, Midnight Suns, you're not going to have much time to do that, before the MCU gets reset in the because that's apparently what they're going to do after Secret Wars, like we've said before. But I don't know. Potentially, yeah. If you get a good director on it and someone who really believes in it and wants to do it, and knows how to handle all these mystical characters and these very different characters, then yeah, I say it could potentially work. I agree with you that Blade will be the lead, but it's just finding that right balance of introducing Blade, introducing these other characters, making them all work as a team, because when you introduce these characters all as a team, the audience are going to look at Blade as part of a team rather than him having his sort of solo debuts. Not to, but that being said, if they pull off the Midnight Suns film, then going forward and doing the Blade film after is going to be super easier to do because you don't have, you've already established the character. You don't have to worry about an origin story. You can go into like a great section or great comic to adapt to the big screen for the Blade film.
Yeah, no, look, I really agree with you. And like you said, finding a great director, I mean, we reported a couple of months back that this is around about the time when Alien Romulus were just about to come out, that they are looking at Fede Alvarez to direct it. After seeing Alien Romulus, you weren't that hot on it. I mean, I think you enjoyed it, didn't you? But after seeing Alien Romulus, I'm very happy if Fede Alvarez does do Midnight Suns. Now, my only thing is, look, we're looking at it like, Blade would be the lead. Who else would be in there? Moon Knight? He is such a complex, fucked up character that I love the character, but you cannot rely on him to be the lead of an ensemble movie. You know what I mean? He's very much like the Hulk. He's got the same shit going on like what the Hulk had, with like a split personality, all that sort of stuff. He would be like their Hulk counterpart. And Hulk was great in the first Avengers, and he had great stuff, but he was very much, people are going to hate me, he was very much a side character. Look, you had the main three, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and then you had Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow, as like, still had big major roles, but wouldn't know on the big three. So I don't see Moon Knight filling one of them roles. Ghost Rider, we ain't got a Ghost Rider. Doctor Strange is going to be busy in the multiverse, so I would love them to do it, but can they do it? That's the next question.
Well, another thing as well I'd like to add is we got the Fantastic Four film coming out, which is set in a different universe. Now,
yes,
this would be a great opportunity to, test things out, test the waters a little bit. If the movie doesn't work out, it's in another universe then. Look at the Sony stuff that they're doing. With obviously Morbius at the end of that and the post-credit scene and bringing over Vulture and things like that. it's not. It doesn't matter. That film sucked, and the post-credit scene, no one counts it as that.
I
So
think it's
if
something
you
to
know,
do with Spider-Man.
yeah, some bollocks like that. But when it comes to this, I have a lot more faith when it comes to Marvel because again, Midnight Sun, Thunderbolts is shaping up to be something really special, and obviously with this, it's been they've thought about it for a long, long time. This isn't just something where it's like bring the Midnight Suns. It's like no, we've had a plan, we've had an idea to bring them in to the MCU at some point. It's just we've not had a really great time recently, shaping it and making it work and making it all gel together.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to what Tom Holland said recently, actually, in the interview, talking about, Spider-Man 4, is getting it to fit in to this big machine, because Midnight Suns, it's going to be a bigger cog. And I love Spider-Man and I love the films, but I don't think Spider-Man 4 is going to have a bigger impact than Midnight Suns. I think Midnight Suns is going to have the bigger impact when it comes to being in the MCU. So getting it to fit in and work well is very, very important. And yeah, like I say, I think it's probably for the best when it comes to Blade, 100%. But it's difficult for the Midnight Suns then, because then you've got to, like I say, you've got the potential issues of introducing all these new and flavorable characters that loads of that have their own depth. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's going to be hard to portray that depth when you need to give everyone not an equal amount of screen time, but definitely they need to have their share in
Like
the
I
film.
say, look, it's possible. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not talking like a big roster we see in front of us right now. Maybe like a 5-man team, 5-person team. It's possible with all these larger-than-life characters. But what I think we are looking at is if they get it wrong, this could very much be Marvel's Suicide Squad. And I don't mean in terms of characters, I mean in terms of how the film's received. Because that was another one of all these characters, putting them in, and just nothing. Now, there were some standouts, but it just didn't flow well, mesh well. But James Gunn showed you can do it if you're just meeting these characters for the first time as well, barring one, or two of them. So, it's possible. People like to think of superhero films as something completely different, and it's like, well, you need their film and their film to go into this film to set it up. You don't. It's nice if you've got that extra character and extra depth there, but you don't need it. People can watch the first Avengers film without having to watch the entirety of Phase 1. It's nice if you have, and you're like, fuck yeah, this all connects. I know where that's from, I know them. But you can watch Avengers and not have to have seen anything from Phase 1. In fact, I think the only Avengers film you have to have really watched other stuff is Endgame. I think that's the only one that relies on it a bit.
I want to say this as well.
You can.
I know you mentioned obviously Guardians of the Galaxy and like James Gunn with the Suicide Squad. I think James Gunn did an even better job when it came to the Suicide Squad.
Then he did with Guardians, yeah.
Because thing is, obviously, with that whole situation, that was very difficult to navigate, and somehow James Gunn made it work. I mean, this guy's a genius. But when you mention obviously Guardians, I agree, but I also slightly disagree with you. Just when you mention Guardians, because as much as I love all of the Guardians characters and how they all have their own depth, they're not the big headliners, if you know what I mean. Like, not to diminish any of the characters.
But this is what I'm saying. People look at comic book characters differently, because the comic book characters, it is just 5 characters. You need to strip away the magnificence of it, and it's, no, let's make 5 characters work well together. That's what it boils down to. It's not, oh, these are the biggest comic book characters, so you can get away with that. Yeah, you can, and there's definitely characters in Guardians which stand out more and have more screen time, more plot relevance, like Peter, but you get people like Drax who have little moments, throughout the entire 3 films, who have little moments but really build his character up in a good way. Same with Rocket, Gamora. So it's not, oh yeah, you're getting Ghost Rider, Blade, Moon Knight, Punisher, Doctor Strange, or whatever. You need to make these 5 characters work well together, but it's hard because they're comic book characters. You need to make these 5 characters work together as characters. Forget the comic book bit. It's 5 characters. And people have been doing it for nearly 100 years in cinema, making ensembles work.
Yeah, no, I get that, and you know, you're right on that aspect. It's just with the Midnight Suns characters, I think there's a lot of you know, like you said, Ghost Rider and Blade. You know, these guys are a heavy hitter of, you know, set of characters.
And you don't want to do anyone any disservice. I get that as well. You want to give everyone the time to shine.
So I mean, like I say, I think if it gets a solid director, you know, someone who's good at the ensemble stuff. Obviously, you know, you mentioned Fede Alvarez. I think he would do a really good job in the world of this. I'm not sure about the directing standpoint. I think maybe, like, if he's involved in some way producing it, helping with the designs and things like that, definitely. But as a director, I think I'd be more confident with someone who's done an ensemble previously, whether it be in Marvel, DC, or whatever. I mean, shit, if I could, I'd have, you know, sort of Sam Raimi or even sort of like a James Gunn.
1 minute, someone's just hit me. I probably would never do it, right? Zack Snyder's Midnight Suns.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I really enjoyed Zack Snyder's stuff, but I just don't think this is the place for it. I think he needs something else.
Yes.
In the MCU.
That was a joke, by the way.
No,
I love Zack Snyder's stuff as well, but yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Right. Anyway, Midnight Suns, will it happen? Will it not happen? We'll have to wait and see. But fuck, it looks like Blade ain't happening, so let's get on to the next one. Kyle, Spider-Man 4, rejoice. You are by far the biggest Spider-Man fan I know. Maybe the biggest Spider-Man fan in history. Spider-Man 4 is shooting next summer. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about because Tom Holland's going to be a very busy man because, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, he's going to be shooting the new Christopher Nolan movie at the beginning of next year. He's going to be shooting Avengers Doomsday in spring of next year. And then they're going to be shooting Spider-Man 4 in summer. So fuck me, this man will not stop for a good 6 months next year. Now, all that being said, Spider-Man 4 shooting in summer next year, do you think that kind of speaks to the release date?
A little bit, yeah. Obviously, they do seem quite confident that, you know, especially Tom being allowed to say these things at such an early stage. It does show quite a bit of confidence in the film and the writing and things like that. So, yeah, I think they're on track here. I don't have any worries about it. The one thing I will say is just, for me, it's going to sound really bad, but if this film ends up being something to do with Null, like we've been hearing about, you know, like Null's going to show up later on after the Venom film, I'm like, God, no, please don't let it be Spider-Man 4 he next shows up in. Like, I'm sure the Null character is probably great. If he's shit, I don't mind, whatever. I just want to see Venom. But if you bring this character in, and I said these to you before, Callum, they just can't seem to get Venom right on any screen, whether it be movies or games or anything like that. They just can't seem to get it fully right into a point where it feels satisfying. Now, look, I love the Venom films, and I would love to see Tom Hardy's Venom go against, you know, Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But if it was built up and done right, there's been no real build-up to this. There's been no setup or anything there to help transition it in. And I don't want it. I don't want it to feel like, because if anything, it'll feel more shoehorned in than it did in Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. You know, Venom's just, I love the Venom films, like I say, But when it comes to the Venom storylines and stuff like that, even in the Spider-Man 2 PS5 game, it just felt rushed and undercooked. There's a lot of issues when it comes to it. Now, what would my ideal, plot be for this film? What would my ideal, ideal movie?
There's something I want to say to you before you add this.
Yeah.
Is that Tom Holland has said, it's good to go now, the script and everything. And he feels like the fans are going to really resonate with it and connect with it. And it's something they haven't really done before in a Spider-Man film. Now, to me, that says we've done the multiverse stuff. I'm hoping this is street level. I hope it's... To me, Spider-Man, all the films, it's like he gets one villain who's like a super-powered sort of fuckwit or something like that. And then he takes that one person on singularly. I'd love to see him take down like a crime family or something, or take on Kingpin. But go on, number one Spider-Man.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think you're gonna agree with me here. I want it to be street level. I want Daredevil to be there. I want Kingpin to be there. I want this. This needs to happen. This is like, if this happens, Callum, I think we're in for a really great sort of like lineage of these Spider-Man films, because everything they've done in these films has been fantastic, And I'll say this as well. They've kind of done street level in Homecoming. It was sort of like in the suburbs, and, there wasn't any like big scale. He wasn't like saving the entire world. Yeah, he had help from Tony and he had an advanced suit. But, go back to that, strip away all that extra tech he's got, make him sort of have to figure things out himself with Matt Murdock, Daredevil. I think this is definitely the better way to go. If they put Null in and they start doing all stuff with that, it's really gonna hammer on the ending of No Way Home for me, at least, because it feels like we're in a new era. It feels like he's done his origin. It was done in 3 films, and he's pushed out into the city. He's starting afresh. And it's set up for great things and for a really nice traditional Spider-Man. But if you introduce Null and Venom and all this stuff into this film, it's not going to work. Maybe later on down the line, but my priorities really is Daredevil, Kingpin, and eventually Miles Morales.
Yeah, no, definitely. Daredevil and Kingpin I think it's a must. It's a must. There is no better time than now. Really. And it's the perfect timing. We've got an on-screen Daredevil in the MCU. We've got a Spider-Man in the MCU. They've met. It seems like the Matt Murdock cameo in Spider-Man No Way Home was kind of a little bit of a tease to the future. And they can't let us down on that. Look, we've been hearing that Marvel really wanted one little Spider-Man appearance in Daredevil Born Again. Sony wouldn't give it to him. Fair enough. It's Sony's property. That's not part of the deal. The deal's for films. But come on, get Matt Murdock in Spider-Man 4. Do you know how much money it will make? Now, it's not going to... I don't think Spider-Man 4 makes No Way Home money. I don't think a lot of films make No Way Home money. This film nearly made $2 billion. But you get Matt Murdock in there, it's at least a 1.5. I think it's a 1.5. Look at the team up of Deadpool and Wolverine. People wanted to see it for years, and they got it. Now, I would say Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is more iconic than Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Charlie Cox's Daredevil, without a doubt. But people go to these things for the characters as well, and they want to see these characters interact. Even if the title for Spider-Man 4 is Spider-Man and Daredevil, trying to, copy some of that synergy, that's what I want. That's what I need.
I would like that, yeah. Spidey, and the Daredevil.
Spider-Man Devil's Reign or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Imagine if they announce the title and it's called Spider-Man Born Again.
Oh! That kind of works. That kind of works, though, because of where it got left off. You said that as a joke, and I forgot. I seen it in your eyes when you said it. It was like, This kind of works as well, though. He was like, this
It
title
kind of
goes
works,
hard.
yeah.
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 All right, I like that a lot, actually. Yeah. But then,
Marvel, Sony, you can take that. As long as Daredevil's in the film, you can take that title.
yeah,
I
but
will
we all
not.
know what it's going to be. Spider-Man null again. So, so yeah. God, just give me Daredevil. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want. Kyle.
Yeah, I feel like it feels like Sony wants to do the Sinister Six and something Venom related.
Yeah.
That's what Sony want to do. Whereas Marvel wants to stick with sort of like, stories that we don't get to explore that much. You got Miles, you got Kingpin, Daredevil. Give us that stuff. That's what we want. Sony just need to,
And
you know,
yeah, it's times
take a
like
step
this.
back.
It's times like this where I am happy with Sony having the Spider-Man license when they're playing ball with Marvel. And because then we get these amazing Spider-Verse films that we wouldn't necessarily get. We get Morbius films that we get to laugh at, and Madam Web that we get to walk out halfway through. Not even. But Craven looks pretty good, not going to lie. I actually like the look of Craven. But it's times like this where I think, God, I wish Marvel had their rights. Because guess what? We wouldn't even be having this debate right now. We would have known a year ago, it's going to be Spider-Man and Daredevil. But because I've been going back and forth trying to figure out how to get it to work, when there's no figuring out about it, make it street level. That's what the people want.
Yeah. I mean, they listened, especially with sort of like, No Way Home and stuff like that. And, I remember when they were talking about, I remember one of the things they mentioned, I think it was someone working on it, and they were like saying we wanted to, initially, before all the leaks and stuff like that, initially we wanted to set up a Spider-Man film where he's like having like a civil war with, Doctor Strange, and it's going to be them two going not head to head fully, but they're not going to be on the same side necessarily. Spider-Man's going to be fighting for something else, and Doctor Strange's going to be fighting for something else. Not necessarily, hating each other or anything like that, but not agreeing with each other. And hearing all the news and stuff like that, and it was ramping up. It was like, oh shit, we're in for something good here. And I hope they can, because that's the only way for me at least where I can get that feeling again of excitement for this film. If they announce that it's going to be Venom, or I start hearing things about Null and Venom and all these things, I'm just going to like, I'm excited to see Tom Hardy's Venom, but I just my hope goes down for that.
But then you get someone like it's reported that Destin Daniel Cretton's going to be the director of it. I want to see him do Daredevil action. Sorry, we're going to have to move off this topic because my willy keeps getting out whenever I mention Daredevil. It's yours as well. Yes, slightly hard. Now, I didn't think that I would come into a Spider-Man topic and outrant Kyle and be, but it happened. I didn't shut the fuck up.
We got our own 50-50.
Yes. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to do. Don't worry. That's why we've got Kyle. Kyle, the God of War show, is back on track. We were hearing last week that the writers, showrunners have all left the project. Well, this is why I need you, because I've completely forgotten. I've been talking about all this stuff, and I didn't write any notes, and I think I've done all right all the way through. God of War has got a new showrunner, and you, my friend, are going to be very happy with who it is. Because as soon as I started reading it, I was like, oh wow, Kyle's going to love this story. The showrunner and writer for All Mankind is going to be behind. Yeah, I knew that. I'd see another story where Kyle's willy's going to be hard the entire time. Would you just do a quick Google search while I just do to find out who it is? I forgot his name. I think it's Robert something.
I can't even speak. As the showrunner.
Yeah, the showrunner for the new God of War Amazon MGM TV series.
I believe it's Ronald.
Ronald, that's it. Ronald E. something.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Ronald D. Moore. And yes, you are right. He's also the showrunner for All Mankind, which is on Apple.
Yeah, Battlestar
Again.
Galactica as well, the reboot of that. A lot of people I know love that. Is there anything else interesting you see on there that he's involved with?
Not currently, just at a glance. But I will say this though, Callum. Obviously, you haven't seen the For All Mankind show.
I've seen
If
like
you're,
3 episodes.
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
It's like, for me at least, the first season is quite slow. But
Like,
going back and I've rewatched it
you
like
love
3
this
times.
show. You love this show.
I think this show's great. But yeah, no. When I watched season 3, every season I've going up to it 1 and 2, I've been like, this show's good, and it gets better and better with each episode, and it just seems to be not slowing down. And then season 3 starts, and you're like, what the fuck? They've just like jumped up another level. Obviously Joel Kinnaman is in this film, in this show.
It's a show, mate.
If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. It's got a bit of drama, it's got a bit of catastrophe and action. Not action, but
might bleep this. Is there any boobs?
bits and bobs. Not that I'm aware of, no. Unfortunately, yeah. No keyboards to smash today.
Yeah, just run out.
But I'll say this though, I think this is a good thing because he, as the showrunner of For All Mankind, there's a lot of things that happen in that show. You've got things that are happening in space, and then you've got the stuff happening, on the ground on Earth, and there's loads of conflicting things, and you really are able to still keep track of all this. A lot happens, a lot goes on, but you're able to keep track of it, and they do it really, really well. Another thing, it's not really necessarily a spoiler, but every time a season ends and they start a new season, it skips like 8 to 10 years, roughly, give or take. And so they always sort of like age up the characters and they stick with them. What's that?
I'm just dodging the spoilers, mate.
Oh, it's not really spoilers, but
it's only for comedic effects. I can still hear you.
Yeah. So they do big time jumps and things like that, and they each season really feels very distinctive and different. Like if you watch season 1 and then you go to season 3, of course you wouldn't do that. But if you literally just looked at them side by side, it's like, holy shit, this is like not a completely different show, but it's like it's enhanced and doing something very different.
Yeah. Right, now Kyle, now that you've finally got to speak about For All Mankind on the channel, what do you think of this man bringing his talents to God of War? How do you see that working? Because we both love this game series.
This is a godsend. Like I say, with For All Mankind, there's a lot of drama. No. I will say there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of catastrophes. What happens in the God of War universe? A lot of drama and a lot of catastrophe, and it's a lot of family drama too, especially when you've got Atreus in there. But yeah, no, definitely. I think this is a really strong decision, and I'm all for this. And do you know what? This gives me genuine confidence in this show now, because initially, even though it's Amazon Prime, didn't have that much confidence in this. Hearing of that they've gotten rid of everyone, they're starting from scratch. But if they've got this guy involved, we're in for a good time. I'm fairly certain.
Now, there's 2 things they need to... Are you scratching your balls right now, mate?
No, my knee.
All right. You can if you want. You can't say it on camera.
No,
I do it
I
sometimes.
had to sweep. Okay, I had to sweep. No, sorry, I just had to sweep some dust today at work, and there was lots of dust, and it's kind of made me itchy.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, the things they need to get right with this God of War show is
scratching my balls now.
Who they get to play Kratos. That's a big one. But for me, more importantly, is what mythology and what era they're setting this in. Because I've played the older ones. I downloaded them on my PlayStation over Christmas. When I was all on PlayStation Store and played through them. They're fun. Now, do they start with the Greek mythology? Or where I think was probably more interesting to take off is start with the Norse and have flashbacks to the Greek mythology stuff. I feel like that's the best way to do it.
Well,
But I'm not a writer.
Here's the thing though, Callum. Like I said, you know, when it came to For All Mankind and the big time jumps, you've got the perfect, palette to really sort of do season one. It's like The Last of Us. Clearly, The Last of Us Part 2 or Season 2 is going to have like a significant time jump. And it is going to be somewhat different from the first season. And, with For All Mankind, like I say, they don't just time jump, it's like completely, they jump to another era. And if they do this show and it's going to have multiple seasons, then it's probably better to start with the Greek mythology, start with his origin, and then in season 2 we get onto the Norse stuff.
Well,
and then maybe in season 3 we see what he does next.
My only thing is if we start with the Greek stuff, this game series has only got more popular, yeah? I think they're going to alienate a lot of the fans who have only played God of War and God of War Ragnarok, who know about the Greek mythology stuff. They know. But I feel like Kratos, at his most popular, is Norse Kratos with his son, Atreus. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind at all if they started in the Greek era. I think that's where he starts. He's a Spartan. I think that's the perfect, a perfect place to start as well. But I think for like layered storytelling and for people who don't necessarily know stuff about it, giving, like you find out in the first in the first Norse God of War, you find out stuff when you're playing through the game, about the previous games. I think that's just a better storytelling mechanic for people who are watching it for the first time who have never played the games. Like, I see it more as Atreus is going to be our point of view character, and we're going to learn through him.
Yeah, I see. I agree with you. And I think you make a...
Both ways are fine, but that's kind of the way I'd want to see more.
See, now, with that being said, you saying that they can do flashback stuff to go into the past and help and explain how the character got to here or whatever. They can still do that with the Greek stuff because there's a lot of like backstory for when Kratos was, how he became. He's in the God of War games, at least in the majority of the earlier ones, especially I think there's like one game that really goes into his origin. But with the original sort of 3 games that came out, I'm pretty sure it's just he's already this God of War and he's just progressing through this Greek mythology. But there was
Zeus! Sorry.
Yeah. But with the show, what they can do is, like I said, they've got this showrunner now, Callum, and they could do it where it's like, okay, season 1 is Greek mythology, season 2 is Norse mythology, and then they could, I say, progress further, and they could still do that aspect of going back and showing things in the past because,
finding spoilers, kid, wife and kid dies, stuff like that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Things like that. Yeah,
definitely. I know. I could. You kind of spinning me around a bit as well.
Yeah.
Look, but me seeing, because Kyle is not a person to get excited, right? You don't get excited a right lot. Seeing how excited Kyle is for this now that the showrunner's involved, has got me really fucking excited. Because it takes a lot to get Kyle excited. So, yeah. Like, I'm telling you right now, Kyle's the sort of guy who don't even get excited about a blowjob on his birthday. And trust me, I know, I were there.
I will say this. Spoilers for God of War Ragnarok, it's not that big of a spoiler, but if they get to let's say if they do it the way I said, and we get to season 2 when they introduce Atreus and things like that, Deborah and Walt has to play as Atreus' mother, like she did in the actual game.
I always thought it looks like her, I think Cameron Monaghan as well should play Cal Kestis in live actions.
Well, there were the people that were saying, what's his name now? I've forgotten his name. He's British actor.
Which one?
Will Poulter. Will
Yeah.
Poulter.
Oh yeah,
I
should
remember
play Cal
yeah, should
Kestis.
play Cal Kestis, and it's like, do you even brain?
Like, they cast Cameron Monaghan for a reason. If this opportunity comes up in the future, they've got an actor to play him. Yeah. No, Deborah Emwell's great. I think if they do it like you're saying, though, I don't think it'll be one season Greek. Maybe
No.
two.
Like I say, a show, can expand or it can cut down and do things differently. Like,
Yeah.
look at The Last of Us. That's a great example. Again, I
Yeah,
know it's
first game, one season.
yeah, and it managed to wrap it up in such a nice way, and it did the whole. In fact, I went back and played the Last of Us game, Callum, and I was just like, I want to watch the show. I
Yeah.
don't even like. I don't know if that's because I'm getting old. The game's still lovely and it's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
I love the
I
game.
think it's great.
But I think the show's better
But
than the game. I think the show's
yeah,
better than the game.
yeah. So, but I genuinely just from my experience of watching, what he's done with For All Mankind, I do think it will be one season Greek mythology and then Norse mythology. I think that's the best way to go because then it keeps every season fresh and it's in line with what he's been doing before. Because the last thing you want is for something to be stale.
Yeah, I think it might be all right then. Maybe one season Greek, 2 seasons Norse.
No,
North.
it could be. It could be. You're right. Because there's a lot of ground to cover, especially with the 2018 version of the God of War 4 technically,
Yeah.
and then obviously God of War Ragnarok. So
Like, I'm thinking about when I've played the game. There's like a lot of good moments in the first God of War where you could go, "Oh, that's a season finale."
yeah,
Jumping off the mountain and fighting on the dragon, all shit like that.
Yeah.
Ended up, and then the final shot of the season, they're in Helheim. Sorry for spoilers for God of War 2018, but
yeah. No, you're right though. There is a lot of ground to cover, and they could split it up into sort of like having the Greek mythology stuff in 2 seasons or whatever. But I think just from what Ronald is used to doing, I think it's definitely going to be more condensed, and it's going to be done well. I have confidence in this because, like I said, they've managed to get all them in the first season of For All Mankind. They condense a lot of stuff that happens in that, and they do it really really well. They manage to jam it in, and it works and it flows together.
right. Anyway, speaking about jamming it in, we should probably make a joke about Kyle's mum now. Sorry, mate, we won't. But that itself was the joke. So you see what I did there?
Yep, comedic genius.
Yes, I am indeed. Right, guys, fucking hell, we've gone long today. I think it's been a long time since we've nearly hit the hour mark. We're at like nearly 50 minutes. So
yeah, there's some interesting topics.
Yeah, as soon as you bring up something Kyle wants to speak about, fucking hell, we're here all day. Sorry.
No, I've got a lot of energy.
Yeah. Well, whatever you've done, what did you have, a Red Bull and a power wank and then sleep for 5 seconds and wake up and feel refreshed?
Exactly that, but in reverse.
Sleep, power wank, then Red Bull. All right, I'll.
It doesn't make sense having a Red Bull and then going to sleep. Callum, we're not all you, mate, where we can crack 2 fucking Red Bulls and be in bed by half an hour.
And snoring like a motherfucker. Right, guys. That has been the show today. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of me and Kyle just talking absolute shit. Because, let's be honest, that's all we actually do. We started the channel because I was like, we're going to be talking about this stuff anyway, so we might as well try and get some money and bitches from it. So that's what. That's.
It's just the way you say the word bitches. It's like money and bitches. It's like fucking hell. Don't even sound like you.
Yeah,
Money and bitches.
I'm not even me. I'm a chameleon, mate. I'll blend in wherever. Especially fat camp. Right, thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you. Are we going to record tomorrow? Because it's Call of Duty Friday, so clearly we're not giving the people what they want on Friday because we're going to be playing Call of Duty.
Is it Friday?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Friday, isn't it? I potentially, yeah.
Yeah, if COD's shit, then
If there's-
we'll come on and film.
Odds probably going to be shit.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
we're probably going to be filming then.
I'm not one. I'm not really excited for it. I'm just going to play it because I need
Oh, I
friends.
tell you what, we probably won't be recording tomorrow, depending on what there is, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe not, probably not Friday as well, but we'll get a Venom review out on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because we're going to watch Venom
Oh wait, when does Venom come out?
Friday, but Wayne can't see it on Friday.
Oh yeah.
Or unless you want to see it on Friday, get a review out on the Friday night, or do you just want to wait?
We'll just wait.
Right, so
I feel like it'll be a much more enjoyable experience all watching it.
well,
Together.
sorry, guys. Thanks for watching. We're gonna end show. Just discussing our social life.
Yeah.
Right. See you later. Bye.
Get over here. Stop listening.
Yeah. Why are you creeping on us? Fuck off. We're done.
Fucked. Get fucked.